The week blurred in a way I didn't understand at the time. 2 milestones, placed side by side, but only one allowed to take up space. My sister's acceptance letter arrived first. Medical school. The kind of achievement that came with immediate volume, calls, congratulations. A shift in how people spoke about her, like she had already become something more. By the end of the week, I graduated valedictorian. It didn't interrupt anything. The house was already in motion. Plans were forming around her, who to invite to prepare, how to market properly. My result slipped into the background like a detail that didn't require adjustment. At some point, I tried to mention it. Not dramatically. Just enough to place it in the same room. My father didn't look up when I spoke. Stop begging for attention. It wasn't said harshly. That would have made it easier to push against. It was said like a correction, something obvious that I should have already understood. So I adjusted. Not outwardly. There was no confrontation, no argument. Just a quiet shift in where I placed my expectations. The celebration went ahead that weekend. Relatives filled the house. My sister moved through it all easily, receiving everything that came with it, recognition, pride. A kind of certainty that settled around her. I stayed where I was needed. Helped when asked. Disappeared when I wasn't. No one mentioned my name in a way that lingered. After that, things didn't break. Thin contact became occasional. Then structured. Calls on birthdays. Brief updates, conversations that avoided anything that might reopen something undefined. I built my life away from it. Not in reaction. But in alignment with what I had learned. If something mattered, it needed to stand on its own. From a distance, my sister's life looked exactly as expected. Progression. Stability. The trajectory everyone had celebrated from the beginning. We spoke rarely, and when it stayed on the surface. It worked. Until it didn't. The call came late. Not the time of night people use casually. The kind that makes you pause before answering. Even when the number is familiar, I almost didn't pick up. There was no greeting when I did. Just breathe in Evan, held too tightly. I didn't know who else to call. Her voice didn't match the version of her I had carried for years. It was thinner. Stripped of something I couldn't name at first. Where are you? I asked. A hesitation. Outside a station, she said. The payphone still works. It felt deliberate. Not just the location, but the choice. As if she needed distance from something, or someone, to say what came next. I didn't interrupt. She started speaking in pieces. Not a story, not a confession in the way people imagine, just fragments that didn't quite connect until they did. Money, at first. Not the kind that had been celebrated, but the kind that moved quietly. Loans taken in her name. Accounts she hadn't fully controlled. Decisions made, for her. Explained as necessary, temporary, strategic. I listened, trying to place it inside the version of our parents I knew. It didn't fit. Not cleanly. They said it was normal, she said. That it's how families work when one person has more responsibility. Responsibility. The word stayed there. It kept growing. She added. Every time I tried to step back, it became something else. Guilt. Obligation, like I owed it. Her voice tightened on that last part, like she had said it enough times to herself. That it had started to sound reasonable. I thought about the years I had spent feeling excluded. About the silence around my own milestones. About how quickly I had been moved out of the center of things. A different shape began to form. Not absence. Selection. What happened tonight? I asked. Another pause. Longer this time. They want me to sign something, she said. It transfers everything, debt included. I didn't know the full amount until now. There it was, not just pressure. Structure, something formal enough to require signatures. To bind I left, she added. I just walked out. The image of her standing at a payphone, holding that moment in place, settled into something real. For a long time. I had believed the difference was simple, she was chosen. I wasn't. But this didn't look like chosen. Not in the way it had been presented. It looked like containment. You always got out. She said, quieter now. I thought it was because they didn't care about you as much. I didn't respond immediately. Because for years I had thought the same thing. And now? I asked because they couldn't use you the same way. The words didn't land as comfort. They rearranged something. All the distance I had built, all the independence I had framed as recovery. It hadn't just been a response. It had also been a kind of exclusion from something more binding. I leaned back, letting the weight of that settle without trying to resolve it too quickly. "Are you safe?" I asked. "Do you have somewhere to go?" A hesitation. Then, I don't know. There it was. Not just a call for understanding, but a point of decision. I could step in. Re-enter something I had spent years stepping away from. Or I could remain where I was, holding the boundary that had protected me. Neither option felt clean. "I can help you find a place," I said finally. Short term. Not an invitation back into everything, not a refusal. Just a line that existed where I could still stand. She exhaled, something in it loosening. We didn't say much after that. The logistics were simple. A location, a time. When the call ended, the quiet returned. But it wasn't the same as before. The past hadn't changed. The imbalance, the dismissal. It all still existed, intact. But the meaning around it had shifted. What I had been kept out of wasn't just recognition. It was something heavier. And now, standing where I was, I had to decide. Not what they meant to me, but how much of that weight I was willing to carry now that I understood it.